Hello and welcome back to the Squirrel Heed YouTube channel, and this is the Premier League review. A little bit later than I wanted it to be, but we're getting it done anyway. There won't be any graphics or anything tonight because my computer is doing some other stuff. Right next to me it's rendering some other videos that I'm making, so I'm doing it on the iPad. So I'm just going to fly through it basically. The Tottenham-Liverpool review is going to be in the description below, so check that one out. Give a quite a full review. I think it's about 6 minutes long or so. Go check that one out when you can. Now the next game that we got coming up obviously here is the 3-0 win that Chelsea did over Burnley, and Chelsea look like they are going to be one of those contenders like they were a couple of years ago. Look like they're building back into those positions where they were, the first two seasons under Jose Mourinho. Looks like they're building back into that. They're scoring goals. Their defence is pretty damn solid as well. You can't complain if you're a Chelsea fan. Burnley struggling, definitely need to pick up somewhere because yes, they got a win against us. They've done I suppose the teams that they come up against, they've done well. They did well over us. Never mind, they did well over us, and I mean it's coming up against a Chelsea team that it's revitalised in every single way, and the new players have come in, done pretty well. But they're going to hope to pick up a couple of, they don't want to do what they did last time they were in the Premier League and they ended up going down pretty much, with a bit of a whimper. So moving on to Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. Ended 1-1 for two teams that are struggling. They picked up points though, 1 point each. Both teams are struggling, and it is, well, Crystal Palace have made a bit of a difference. Obviously they've got now confirmed today that they've got Loic Remy on loan for the season, which is... You'd put Loic Remy and Benteke up front. You'd think they'd be all right. That they shouldn't be in a relegation battle. But I wouldn't bet your money on it with Alan Pardew in charge. Bournemouth. I like Eddie Howe. I just don't know whether he's done the right business in this window to strengthen the squad with the people that have left as well, like Matt Ritchie, bringing in Jordan Ibe, who's not at that level yet. Needs time to develop. Have they got the time to develop him? I'm not sure. Could be a bit iffy for both teams, but I'd be more concerned about Bournemouth at this point. After that, you've got Everton, who got one hell of a fluky friggin' win at the weekend against Stoke, with Shay Given becoming the oldest person in the Premier League, from what one of the stats said, oldest person in the Premier League history to score an own goal. So, I mean, what can you say other than that? It's a 1-1, it's a 1-0 though. So I mean, Everton have got the win. That's all they needed. That's all they want. That's all they would have wanted. They can't really complain. Stoke didn't really kick on from Peter Crouch's hat-trick the other night with an overhead kick. Didn't kick on whatsoever and concede a poor own goal as well. So that's only going to pile on the misery for Stoke at the moment. Then we move on to Leicester versus Swansea, and Leicester looked pretty good. They didn't look like the Leicester of last season yet, but they look like they're going to be getting back to that pretty soon, which I'm concerned about because their next game is against us at Anfield, our first home game of the season. So I'm quite worried about that one, if they're going to start kicking back into a bit of form. I really hope that they don't. Swansea scored a goal in the second half, but I think it was the second half anyway. I'm trying to remember. This is why I should do the videos quicker, because then I remember better. But it was a 2-1 victory for Leicester. They needed that victory, and they can go into the international break, coming into the next game with a bit more confidence. But will it be enough against Liverpool? Who knows, because we don't know what the fuck we're doing half the time. Southampton v Sunderland ended 1-1. Again, another one of those games, ended in a draw. It's one of those, a bit flat. I thought that Southampton were going to have far more quality over Sunderland. I thought Southampton were going to win in my prediction, and it just didn't end up that way. Southampton looking a bit more vulnerable after, obviously, Koeman having left and everything like that. Sunderland looking like that they could start to gather some steam now. They could actually start progressing, turn some of these draws into wins, losses into draws, and such like that as well. So, but they just, they need to get out of this mentality that obviously David Moyes is going to bring in after he turned around and said that we're going to be fighting relegation after 2 games. Get rid of that, and they should be all right. But I don't know. It's a bit iffy at the moment. See what they do at the end of the transfer window, anyway. And Arsenal fire back with a bang, winning 3-1 against Watford in what was, again, another game of 2 halves for Arsenal. They come out, first half, bang, they are at them, absolutely smashing everything that they can at Watford and doing a bloody good job of it as well. But then the second half they come out, Watford get a goal, and it's just like, Are you guys going to throw it away again? Watford were very, very close, piling on that pressure. First 10-20 minutes, they were piling on the pressure, could have scored goals themselves, and they didn't, which could have changed the game completely. But Arsenal were a bit lucky in that respect. But they come out with a 3-1 victory. They can only be positive after confirming anyway. This confirmation of signings for Arsenal is taking nearly as long as the negotiations. Come on, guys, get your shit sorted. And then Man United did what champions tend to do, or prospective champions, I should say, because they're not champions obviously yet, in that they squeaked out a 93rd minute 1-0 win thanks to Marcus Rashford in a game where Man United threw everything but the fucking kitchen sink at Hull, and Hull had some good chances as well. They didn't just sit back and soak up, but Rashford comes on, he's on fire, he doesn't have any fear whatsoever, and he makes one hell of a difference. Really one hell of a difference. Comes in, scores a really good goal. Rooney gets on the assist. It's a 1-0 at the end of the day. That should have probably been a 0-0. But this is like the United of old, where they would squeak out these draws and then turn it into a win in the last minute. So 1-0 win. Unlucky for Hull, who've had a brilliant start. So they can't really be too disheartened about the fight they put up against such a quality team as well. Then we move on to Sunday. West Brom versus Middlesbrough. Boring. So then we move on to... There's no point talking about it. It was boring. It was 0-0. There was not a lot that went on. I don't know what else I could say about it. It was just a 0-0. Both got a point. We move on to Manchester City. Almost... Well, they looked like they were carving West Ham open when it got to 2-0. And then it went to 2-1. And Man City didn't look like the confident team that they were like when they were 2-0 up. But then, late on, Raheem Sterling probably picks up his another Man of the Match award, which is great for me, obviously. And he picks up a Man of the Match award, I think, gets a second goal, and he takes them up 3-1. Man City look like they're going to be flying in the next couple of weeks after the international break. West Ham looks like dire times at the moment. They need their players back fit, and they maybe need to sign some players as well, because this isn't looking very good for West Ham right now. And that's all I've got. It's all I've got time for. It's a shorter video than I would normally do, but I figured if I can summarize some things, then I will do. What I will be doing this week, though, and a proper video, graphics and everything, is a full review of how teams have been doing so far in the first 3 games of this season so far. I know it seems early on, but something that we can get our teeth into over the international break, and then after transfer deadline day, maybe about Thursday or Friday, I'll be getting out the transfer review for every single team, looking at the ins and outs of every single team, and also expenditure, and see where I want to see who's had the best window, and then where are people going to finish in the table. That might be a 2-video thing. I might try and fit it in one. I'm not sure yet, but that's what I'm going to be doing anyway. So if you like the sound of that, please subscribe to the channel. You will definitely be getting this content. Hopefully, as I say, if I can't get stuff out on time, I will try and do stuff like this in the iPad and stuff. But anyway, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks for watching. Comment anything that you'd like to, and I'll catch you later. Thanks very much for watching.